Hey everybody, what's up? Just finished up the first day of the tournament here at Lake of the Ozarks Toyota Series and driving back to Springfield right now. I'm gonna sort of give you guys a recap of what happened today. And it's gonna be a pretty interesting story. So right off the bat, I'm gonna tell you guys it could not have went any worse. I zeroed today, I did not catch one. And I'm gonna explain to you how that happens, how my practice went and how it came to be that I didn't catch one. So stay with me through this whole video because I promise you guys you're going to learn something from this. Because I can tell you right now that some of your biggest lessons, all of our biggest lessons sometimes, comes from failure. I mean, failure is a great teacher. So I've got a lot to teach you guys today, so just hang with me for this video. So I'm just going to run through the day, how it happened, everything, and sort of explain to you guys sort of the process that takes place from practice to having the first tournament day to not catching one. So going into this tournament, you know, if you guys have watched my other videos, the practice videos, you know, I've got two areas that I'm fishing. One area is the cleaner end of the lake, you know, towards the lower end, and the other area was up the river, up the Niangua River. And one of the big things that I didn't anticipate here is that I knew that the Niangua River would have the warmest water in this tournament because there's a spring in the back of the river. And what I didn't realize is I didn't realize how many people that don't fish this lake must have got information from other people telling them that there's a spring back there, because it was a zoo back there today. I made the decision to run up the river today based upon the weather. Yesterday I went up there. I liked what I saw, got a few bites, saw a few boats, but not very many. But with the stained water, super stained up there, lots of shallow cover, today we had bright sun with no wind, and I felt that those fish probably would do better than the ones down in the clear water. So I made the decision to go up the Niangua River, as did everybody else in this tournament. It was an absolute boat show up there. So I'll tell you guys how it started out. I was boat number 8, and so I took out there, and when I ran up the river out of the mouth of the Grand Glades, we had about a 25-mile run up there. I come out of the mouth of the takeoff creek, and the lake's frozen over all the way across. I'm the first boat that gets there. So I've never done this in my entire career. I've never done it. The lake was completely froze across, about 1/4 of an inch of ice. And so I was the lead guy. I started running across this ice, and it's like that, going, you know, 55 miles an hour. I didn't know if it was going to rip my wrap off or what. I had no clue, but it's like at this point, I'm committed to it and I've got to go. And it was completely froze over from the mouth of the takeoff creek to the mouth of the river. Basically, for over 20 miles, I ran through a completely frozen solid lake that had 1/4 inch of ice. Everybody else didn't have a problem because they got in line behind me. So I'm breaking the ice going down the lake, and I look behind me, and there's like 50 boats in my boat wake coming, you know, following me up through the ice, so they didn't have to damage the wrap or anything. But when I got back to the trailer this afternoon, there wasn't any damage at all. I couldn't believe it. I guess, you know, the trim lifting it out of the water just went right across there. So that was a sort of a neat thing. But anyway, when I got up to the area that I was fishing up the river there, it was just just one after the other. Boats passing me, run after the other. Every point up there had a boat on it. Every cove had a boat in it. It was an absolute zoo. So I still felt that I could scrape out, you know, several, you know, decent fish up there. I was still pretty confident, even though there was a lot of boats in there. And I fished up there for 4 hours on all my key stuff, and I caught 6 or 7 non-keepers. I caught 6 or 7 like 13 to 14 inchers, which really surprised me because most of the time you don't catch non-keepers this time of year up there. So here it is, it's noon. You know, I haven't caught a keeper yet. You know, I've been catching short fish, but the main thing about it is everywhere I want to fish, there's boats on it. So if there hadn't been any boats up there, I probably would have kept fishing and staying. But instead, I made the decision at noon to bail out and just go fishing. You know, I told myself, it's like, look, the ice is starting to thaw out in some of these areas that I know about that nobody's been fishing, so I'm just going to run that water. So I ran back down the lake out of the creek there, and I started just basically hitting a lot of the same type of cover that I had been fishing the last 2 days. And I never had a bite the rest of the day. I was mixing it up between, shallow cranking, jig, jerk bait, everything that, normally produces this time of year. And I just did not get a single bite, doing that up there. So in hindsight and retrospect, look, when I come off the water looking back at how tough the entire lake's fishing, I probably should have stayed up that river all day long, because, and I know better than this, but, normally those fish in that type of water bite better up in the day, like around noon. So I basically probably left the water at the best time to try to find something else. But it's a decision that you make, and that's the thing about tournament fishing. Tournament fishing is all about decisions. If you make the right decision, you look like a genius. If you make the wrong decision, you look like you're clueless, like you don't know what you're doing. But it comes down to that. Sometimes we make the right decisions, and sometimes we don't. We make those decisions based upon the information that we have at the time. So in my situation, the reason that I made that decision was, number one, I didn't have a fish in the live well at noon. Number two, all the key areas had boats on them. I didn't really feel that I could go in behind those boats and catch a limit of fish in the last 3 hours of the tournament. So I made the decision to gamble and go run some stuff similar that was not getting the pressure, and it just didn't pay off. And a lot of times when you're fishing around a crowd like that, it's all about getting hit by that one fish that sort of points you in the right direction as far as what you need to be doing. And in this case, I just never did get hit by that fish to point me in the right direction. If I'd have got bit by a 3 or 4 pounder, doing whatever, that might have keyed me into the right angle, the right color, but I never got that. So anyway, that's the first day of the tournament. But the thing about the tournament fishing, it doesn't make any difference. These are 2-day tournaments. It doesn't make any difference what you caught the first day or second day. Totals are added up tomorrow afternoon. So, this is a tough tournament. So I know tomorrow that, if I can turn it around and go out there and catch a good solid limit of fish, I'll have a wind up pretty good in the tournament, because I didn't see much getting weighed in. I saw a lot of guys putting it on the trailer that didn't catch one. A lot of just one fish into the bags. So a limit, a solid limit of fish tomorrow will go a long way in this tournament. So tomorrow I'm going to make a little bit of a change. We're supposed to have cloud conditions. I'm going to go down to the lower end of the lake and fish that clean water. I think that water down there is opened up. It hasn't been getting a lot of pressure. And normally this time of year, when you get those cloudy days, they bite better in that clear water. So I'm going to go back to the house and regroup, get some stuff on, for the cloudy conditions. Not giving up yet. I mean, I fished too many of these tournaments where I've caught one or no fish the first day of the tournament, came back with a really big bag the second day, and, had a really good finish for the tournament. So that's my plan. My plan is, go out, upgrade, try to, catch 5 quality fish, fish in the conditions, learning from today what I figured out today, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. But in the case for that Niagara River, there may be some guys catching a few fish up there, but I don't see that area holding up. It just simply got too much fishing pressure. The cloudy conditions tomorrow aren't going to help it out any. So I think that area is probably going to get, pretty burned up pretty bad, because there's not a lot of water up there. So I feel real confident tomorrow, even though I didn't catch one today. My confidence is high, and that's one thing that comes from fishing lots of years. It's like, your confidence is high if you continue to try to search out new avenues to catch them and to position yourself to catch bigger fish. And to be honest with you guys, I would have rather zeroed like I did today than caught 1 or 2 fish, because say if I caught 2 fish and I was like right around on the bubble for making a check, I may go back up there and try to grind out a couple more fish just to get a check. But by not catching one, that means I have to just put all my eggs in one basket and go for a gamble. And that's when you catch those big bags. You don't catch those big bags of fish playing conservatively and fishing for just limits or fishing for checks. You catch those big mega bags of fish by dropping everything that you've been doing and starting fresh in new water. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. So anyway, the big lesson for you guys to learn here, learn from my mistake. don't treat failure as a negative. Treat failure as a learning, as a teacher, and go out and make the best of it the next day. There's nothing that you can do about the days like I had today where I didn't catch one. I can whine and moan and complain about it, but that's not going to do me any good. I just have to regroup, go out and catch some good ones tomorrow, and come out of here with a good tournament. So anyway, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in for this. I really, really do, man. It means a lot to me that you guys are watching. I've had a bunch of people come up at this tournament and tell me that they've been watching the videos, and that just makes me feel so good that I can, do a little bit of something to help somebody catch some more fish once in a while. So hopefully you can catch some more fish and not have some of the day I had today by learning by my mistake. And hopefully tomorrow I'll have some good news for you and tell you about guys how I turned it around. So anyway, we'll check in tomorrow. I'll let you guys know how it goes at the end of the day. See ya.